In this video, we are going to learn about get service command in PowerShell. So let's just jump in. In terminal, if I type get service, it's going to return all the services that are available in my system and along with their status and name and description. So if I go to the top, as you can see we have the status and name and display name. So now we can display the rest of information as well by using the select object. So in order to get all the properties of the get service command, we can use the select star or select object and then star. Now these are the services information. So it has required service and its event system, and we have the different attributes can stop and can shut down, the display name and uh, the status and the type, the start type. So some of them are automatic, some of them are manual, like this one, and more information as well. So now let's create a PowerShell script that will allow us to pick up a service and display its information, its status and information. So I will clear the screen. Let's create a script.ps1 file. To do that, we can use double quotes and then pipe that to, let's say, script.ps1. And now we will have that file created for us. So now opening that up in the text editor, I'm using Visual Studio Code, and let's jump into the code. So I will come here, Control B to hide the sidebar, and now the first thing I have to get all the services. So let's say services equal to get service command, and now once we have the services, we can loop through that and uh, list the service name, and we can do that directly, but the point I'm trying to make is to enter. We will allow user to enter the service name and then display its status. So if I do, we can do that in terminal as well, like get service, and then pipe that to only the select the name as well as status. So now we have the status and a name of the service, but what I want to do is I want user to be able to pick up, ask user to enter the service name, and then based on the user input, display that service name, status, and description. So I will come here. First, I will have to ask user. So let's say input or user input, and that is equal to read host and enter service name, and based on the user input service name, we will check the this service in the available services. So it has flags, right? So if I type get service, if I hover over this, it's going to display the flags. So we have the name, we can display the service of different computer. Here we will have to pass the computer and credentials and stuff like that, and we have other flags like exclude and include some strings. So we have the display name and stuff like that. So if I do like get service, and if I pass tag name, and here I we have a Brave service, right? So as you can see, if I do that, the Brave browser is running, and the Brave service, this is the update Brave update service. So if I do Brave star, as you can see, we have the three services with that name, and these are different than the Brave browser. Let's see how we can do that um, in our script. So if I do get service, we can pick up any other as well, like when ORM, when 32. um, we can like using these services, we can get the services dash status, required service. We have the status, right? So let's say I want to get display name, So let's say I want to get only the services that are running or that are not running, or that match the name is matching some condition. So we can use the where object. So we will pipe that to where object, and here we will check if dollar underscore name is like no, not a name. We have the status, right? So let's check that again. If I do select star, select, and we have the status, yes. So if I pipe that to where object, and here dollar underscore, that is the ps item variable, automatic variable, and then dollar underscore status, and if that is like running, the r is capital, then return that. So if I do that, now we will have all the running services. Now we can check the stopped as well. Was it stopped or stopped? Yes. So if I fast stopped double p, we will return the stopped services. So based on this, we will return the service. So if I now, let's say I want to get the service based on the user input, as we have in the script. So we will check the name, and if the name is like as I typed before, the Braille, then return that. As you can see, it returns one, but we can pass wildcards like asterisk and stuff like that. So we will use this command, and I will come here, and we can also check if the user input is valid. So um, if this variable is not empty, if dollar user underscore input, then do this. Otherwise, uh, write warning that invalid entry or something like that. So now once we have um, the name like this, if I come here and if I pipe that to select star, as you can see, we are getting the complete details about that specific um, service, right? So we are interested in the name as well as status and description. So now this will only return these information. So it is now stopped. The description is empty. We have the description. It's the display name, so we can pick that off as well. And we can display any of these information. The point is just to display the information, that so that we can see that the script is working properly. So we will use this, and now we will use this command that we executed in our script in the terminal, and this is the select object, and we want the name, the status, and the status type. So now we have that. So control Y, and this is the user input. So user input, and now if I save this, let's come here to the terminal. Here we have the script. So I will do script.ps1. Let's say Brave. As you can see, it returns that um, results. We can try on another one. Let's say let's execute the get service command and pick off any service from there. So let's say w search, or when rm, execute the script.ps1, paste the name. As you can see, the information are now displayed here. Now we can add the functionality like start and stop the service. We will do that in the next section.